welcome back into Tiger Talk. Tiger Talk is presented to you by Cordova Lanes, the place of fun. We've got Steve Reynolds in the building, owner of Cordova Lanes. We've got Greg Heck in the building, bar manager of Shooter Sports Bar. And then we've got John Spurney, LSU alumni, chapter president of the Panhandle Bayou Bengals. Welcome in, gentlemen. This is always a show that I look forward to every week.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we are live streaming. For anyone who wants to tune in and live stream, we have a live stream on Facebook. It's just at ESPN Pensacola. And then we have one on YouTube, ESPN Pensacola 1330. You can also call in anytime, 850-623-1330. We will have the phone lines open. All right, gentlemen. So I'm thinking... And I don't know if John's got something drawn up over there on his notepad, but I'm thinking that probably the first thing that we need to mention is Jayden Daniels winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
Just like
Absolutely.
we said.
Just like we said. He gave such an amazing speech. He was so poised and just really, truly looked like an adult out there, honestly, and just such a great kid. That kid, Jayden, I think that really so many people were so excited, people who aren't even LSU fans, to see him win the Heisman and get that honor and bring that honor back to the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, we had a Heisman watch at Shooter Sports Bar and had a good turnout, and it was good watching it. I was totally impressed with his laid-back attitude and expressions. He didn't have socks on, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Well, they wear those. They wear those like shoes where it shows a little bit of your ankle now, and they wear usually ankle socks.
Okay.
That's what they're doing these days.
Okay.
Now you know.
Good. Yeah.
We need to get you a pair of shoes like that, and now they're wearing the shorter trousers.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost a capri style, a little longer than a capri style
cool.
for men. It's in style now.
But it was good. It was good seeing. It really was. Very proud of him.
And you know, when watching all the videos they played for each athlete that was nominated for the Heisman, it was crazy. They obviously saved Jayden Daniels for the last video to show among all of the candidates. But it seemed like his video and all the announcers and everything, they were just so hyped up on him. You could already see it just from the way the show was going. Do you guys kind of feel the same?
Well,
Yeah.
I think they already know ahead of time who's going to, so they, they're supposed to pretend that they don't know, but
I think
they
they tell them
already
so they
do,
don't.
of course.
Somebody doesn't freak out and walk
Yes.
off the stage
Really?
or something. Yeah, I think I think there's too much. There's too many chances if you're live like that on TV. That I think that they, I don't probably slip them a note or something because they were all. Nobody was like. I remember when Peyton Manning was everybody's favorite to win, and Woodson won. And
They just
the
had a
look on
30
everybody's
for-
face
yeah.
was like, what?
They just had a 30 for 30 on that on ESPN. That was a really good documentary.
Exactly,
about
yeah.
that.
And it kind of shocked everybody, but they had built Peyton Manning up because now people are doing billboards and stuff,
Right. And they put some billboards in Vegas at the time. I remember LSU fans, they'll put billboards anywhere and everywhere for any and every sport, honestly. They're a billboard kind of school.
And the players, Joe Burrow put out one, thank you, LSU. And I think the things that stood out to me were being the attachment we have for LSU here with the bar, Greg, everybody that's contributed to this. I think they really enjoy it. I think our fans are different. Not always great, so there's downsides to that too, but as far as like the enthusiasm, and I think that our fans are really good at when somebody comes in from Ohio or someplace else. Greg from Syracuse, our president of our chapter is basically from Brooklyn,
Are you talking about yourself now?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, not me. No.
Oh,
no.
of the
I'm-
whole chapter.
The national chapter.
The national chapter, okay.
Yeah, Joe Carvalito, who
Right.
is a rock star at LSU, man. He's not going anywhere. He's on LSU, but I think that people really embrace that. It's like, okay, we're all kind of different here anyway because there's so many little mini cultures and
Right.
pockets around South Louisiana, North Louisiana. It's all similar but very different in the other in little pockets. I was thinking about this morning though. It seems like there's 4-year increments, and I don't know what that means. If there's some kind of a Marie Laveau thing or attachment, because LSU goes. We don't have our first national championship in like 40 something years, was 44 years, was in 203. And then 4
Right.
years later, we win a championship, 207.
Right.
4 years later, we go undefeated for the season in 2011.
And then lose.
And
in
then
the
we
national
skipped a
championship.
couple of years, the next 4-year increment. But here we are back now. Now we had a Heisman Trophy 4 years ago. Now is, and if in the beginning of the year you go like, look, what if, would you consider it you're really high ranked? We think we're a lot of people are picking us to go 9-1 and do this and that. And defense is going to be good. And it never imagined. He said, well, if you could take as a consolation the Heisman Trophy winner, would you take it? I think a lot of people would have said, that would be okay. It's like I'd rather win the national championship, but if I could win the Heisman and the national championship, they won it all. So, and the other night we had a good crowd there. It was a small crowd. I get it. People are at home. But we had 20 something people. I think 25, 20 something like that. And we had a great time, and when they announced it, everybody erupted. But I noticed more, though, where people playing pool and stuff were kind of drawn to us.
Right.
They're like, well, I didn't know you guys. Who are you guys? It's like, what are you doing? How come the TV's on here? And it really affects what people, the energy and everything that we bring. People like that. They like the music. That's what's so fun about having a place to go like Cordova is we get to play the music. We get to cook a pig. We get to do all these things. It's a act of Congress at other places,
Right.
franchise stuff. This is a family-run business. In fact, I'll tell you a quick story. I was at a restaurant. We're not going to mention the name of it, but they're a very good Cajun restaurant down in Pensacola. And there was a kid there that was waiting on a table next to us, and he kind of looked like he could be Jaden Daniels' younger brother. I asked him. I said, "Anybody ever told you look like Jaden Daniels?" And he goes like,
Who's that?
But then he knew when I told him that. But I said, did you play football? This guy was like 6'5". Anyway, the conversation went back and forth. And he says, I used to play when I was in junior high and stuff like that. I said, you can look over any lineman that I can know in high school or something. And I said, I'm just telling you, it's a compliment. I'm not trying to pick on you or anything. I said, do you like to bowl? And he says, I've done it before. I said, you look like the kind of guy that could bowl. You could probably throw the ball halfway down the lanes. So anyway, I said, I got a guy that you need to come down and meet. And I told him Cordova Lanes, we got some really good bowlers. If you learn how to bowl from these guys, and he said, well, I used to do it and I did pretty well, but I just didn't stick with it. I said, and when we left after that conversation, when we left that night, he comes and says, what was that place again, Cordova? I said, yeah, I need to go back and get his name because I think we could hook him up. He would fit right into that group up there, I think so.
We'd love to have him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We would love to have everyone. Unfortunately, I couldn't make that one that Saturday night. I was at home jumping for joy and crying. Really, just tears of joy. I was so excited. He had Joe Burrow in the lining of his suit jacket.
It's awesome.
That was so cool. Now, Joe Burrow wasn't there. I think he was preparing for a game. But also, even if he was and he could make it, I think he wanted to not take any shine away from Jaden Daniels,
Yes.
if that even was the case. But I'm pretty sure he was just preparing for a game. But it's just such a great moment. And Jaden Daniels was caught saying, I'm sorry that I couldn't bring you guys a championship. God's got another plan for me, but I'm glad that I got to bring you guys a Heisman and give that kind of as the cherry on top of the football season, really,
Well,
for
the
LSU.
The one thing he mentioned, though, that I thought was, I don't know if he got paid for it or not. He probably got, whether he was supposed to do it or not, but he said that his wide receivers, because he gave them the credit, the glory,
Right.
that just like Waffle House, they're always open.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was great.
I
man.
don't know if that was paid. I think that was just like, I mean, they are all, it's like when you think,
Hey,
okay, what's always open?
I bet he doesn't have to pay for any Waffle House.
I guarantee
No,
you he's not
no.
I
paying
think if
for
he
any
walks
waffles.
in, I think they'll be approaching him later, and they'll show
Yeah.
that. They'll show that. It's like, hey.
Well,
like-
Jaden said it was, he couldn't bring a national championship home to LSU this year, but it definitely wasn't he was not the reason that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
I think we all know that reason. It's LSU defense. Not a real cough there, just LSU defense. And we'll dive into that a little bit more. Right now you're listening to Tiger Talk presented by Cordova Lanes. Cordova Lanes, great place to go to have some fun. And literally everybody's family is either in town or about to come in town. vice versa. So family activity, go out to Cordova Lanes. Not only do they just have all the bowling, they have Mama Ani's Grill, which has delicious food. And then they've got Shooter Sports Bar. And inside of there, you've got the pool tables, the dart boards, the cornhole in the back at the patio, which is so nice. Great beer selection if you drink beer, good cocktail selection. But if you don't drink, they make mocktails and all of that as well. But just a good family place and good energy, good environment. So 2111 Airport Boulevard, you can go. Cordova Lanes. So it is the place of fun. Make sure to take your family. We're going to take a quick break right here. We'll talk some more LSU and some more college football right here on Tiger Talk, presented by Cordova Lanes on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
To have a striking good time, there's nothing better than Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Now Shooter Sports Bar is open after a total remodel, plus Mama Oni's Grill serving up great food like house-made pizza and so much more. Cordova Lanes selling fun for the entire family for over 44 years. They're open 7 days a week with the only automatic bumpers in town, helping keep your mind out of the gutter. From 3 to 93 years old, Cordova Lanes is the place for birthday parties, group activities, and more. Cordova Lanes Bowling Center.
Hi, I can help whoever's next.
Cooper's overnight shipping company has to deliver the
I can
goods.
ship these gifts to your grandkids.
They need a logistics manager to keep the wheels turning.
126 packages going to Toronto, Tuscaloosa, Montreal, and Minneapolis. Oh boy.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
1033, home invasion, 3 detained.
Description.
Mouse, female, spreading disease, contaminating food.
Copy that.
Termite, male, property damage.
Go ahead.
Stinging insect, male, triggered allergic reaction, major health risk.
Pests like mice, cockroaches, termites, and stinging insects pose real health and property risks. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. That's PEST world.org.
A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
ESPN Pensacola is giving away a signed Chris Wenke jersey, and you could be the lucky winner. Here's how. Simply download the ESPN Pensacola app, register on the app, then click the banner at the top to enter to win. It's that easy. And now that you're registered, you can win other tickets and prizes from ESPN Pensacola's app. So download the app, register, and enter to win the drawing for this one-of-a-kind signed Chris Wenke jersey. Don't miss out. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Mike Greenberg, weekdays 9 to 11, right before the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
welcome back into Tiger Talk. I wasn't on camera, but during a certain part in the song, the LSU Golden Girls, this is what they do. They do the L. And they have like a face thing that they do. It's very prestigious to be part of that group, I'll tell you that. I had to do it. This is the song that gets it's just so good. I'm going to turn it back up.
I would probably misspell it.
What'd you say?
I'd probably misspell it.
You'd misspell it. I don't think so, Steve. Again, we are live on Facebook at ESPN Pensacola. Check us out. You can see all of us. We're all in studio, and we're having a great time. This is always such a fun show. Also, you can check out the YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 1330 is where you can check that out. Also, you can call or text in with your thoughts. I think we might be doing another giveaway with the trivia question, but I won't make final confirmation on that. Yeah, we are. Okay, so we haven't got our trivia question yet, but we'll get one here soon. But do we want to go back to the Heisman? What are you gentlemen kind of feeling right now? Y'all were all having this conversation off air. We got to have the same ones on air. So
it wasn't so much LSU related though, so
that's okay. That's okay. Well, the Saints, they're a big topic, and LSU Saints so closely related. If y'all are talking Saints, which I think you were a little bit, Greg, because you said you're going to the game this weekend.
Going to the game this weekend. My oldest son is a huge Saints fan. I grew up in Central New York, so my allegiance has been to the Giants for as long as I've watched football. So just looking forward to going to another great atmosphere and hopefully watching a good game, no matter who wins.
Well, I hope it's the Saints because they need to win. Well, you're a Giants fan. That's why.
And what are they 2-2 and what?
They're 5 and 8. The Saints are 6 and 7.
Right, and this is really crucial, at least for the Saints. Right now, the NFC South is like so bad
jumbled,
that even at 6 and 7, they still have a chance. But they've only got 4 games left, and they've got to start getting some wins under their belt. They just signed veteran player Robinson as a backup running back to Alvin Kamara, actually, earlier this week, so that should help. Derek Carr seems like he's fine with getting booed by fans sometimes. He even made a funny comment about it and how he expressed that to his family and how to deal with that. But it seems like emotions, the feeling in the building, I don't know really how I'm trying to explain this, for the Saints is making a slow turnaround. Alvin Kamara earlier in the year really was like, this team is consistently inconsistent, and I don't know what we're doing. And then Dennis Allen, the head coach, was like, none of that's true. So who knows? But it does seem like the energy is turning around, and I think with a veteran guy like Robinson joining in, hopefully he can help rebuild that culture, because I know that's something the Saints want to see. Y'all can ask us about Saints, too. This is Tiger Talk, but chime in. What do you think about the Saints? Do you think that Derek Carr and the rest of the crew has what it takes? 850-623-1330. 850-623-1330. Again, though, this is Tiger Talk. So if you want to talk about the Saints or you want to talk about the Tigers, we can do both. We were talking about Jayden Daniels. We can continue talking about that a little bit more. I'll tell you one thing. I was impressed by a lot of different things from him, but one thing I really loved was his very last sentence where he honored Greg Brooks and his family, number 3 for LSU, who had really bad brain tumor and is still trying to heal, and they really played for him this season, and it was just really nice of him to honor him at the end, and he did a wonderful job honoring his family, his teammates, all of those people, and his relationship with his mom was just so cute. You know, you could tell he's a mama's boy.
Yeah.
He's definitely a mama's boy. Might get a little of that tough love from his dad, but I think I've decided all men are mama's boys.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And vice versa, I think.
I
think little girls tend to be.
Absolutely.
Especially the younger, the more. Maybe they get a little. Everybody gets strange. We all get strange when we're teenagers, But I want to give a real quick shout out to the New York Giants, though. because that was when I was growing up around here, and I'm like 12, 13 years old, starting to watch football seriously. There was a guy that played quarterback for the Giants back then. He was an LSU Hall of Fame NFL. And there's a classic picture of him after I think it was his last game. He's lost his hair. He's like beat. The quarterbacks used to get beat up back then. I mean, big time. They were just like a lineman. And he played on the LSU team in 1946 that went 9-1-1. And his name is, you know the name, right?
That just slipped my mind.
Tell us.
No. It was Y.A. Tittle.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Gosh.
Yeah, I just talked myself out of that.
And I was talking to John Ferguson. Rest in peace, John. He passed away a few years back. He was the voice of the Tigers when I was there. And, in fact, I used to go over for these alumni events, and my dad and him hit it off because they were both in World War II, and they talked about, and he would always, I go to Taggart Athletic Foundation, and the guy would like signal. John would come out. He was emeritus. He was the guy doing all the fundraising. He would flag us down to his office, and I'd go down there, and him and Dad start talking. I'd just leave. It's like I was even there. It was cool, though, because Dad and him really hit it off. He had a lot of respect for my dad, and vice versa. But he told me one time, he said, I think that was the best LSU team he had ever seen, because they all went, we had 12,000 lieutenants that served in World War II, the old war school, one of our nicknames. And these guys came back. They after World War II in 1946, they all came back and went back to school. They were ROTC at LSU, so a bunch of them, football players. And they just had so many people come out for the team that several people that they cut from the team actually went up and made it with the Browns. They were playing with Cleveland. They were that good. We just had so many players. But he said this guy was so mature. He's like, I don't know how old he was when he played at LSU, but he was, way past what a lot of kids were doing, at that age. And they had a great year that year, and he ended up going to the NFL. That was him, Johnny Unitas, Y.A. Tittle, Bart Starr. That was like all those guys.
Hall of Famer.
All
yeah,
the awards are named
mentioned.
after these people.
Yes.
They're the greatest of all time. Truly. I mean, I wish I could have been alive during those days to see those guys actually play. So much history, and you are the one with all that history knowledge, and just I don't know how you remember.
I had to look that up because when he told me about that team, and I was like, okay, I gotta see what that is, and it was, and I talked to people that were of that era, In fact, Y.A. Tittle, Aaron Beam, who's one of our members, lives over in Bay Minette area. He actually sent me a picture one time. He was traveling on the West Coast, and he was in San Francisco, and he said, I walked out to look at there's a place where all the markets are for the crabs and all that. He said, I walked out there, and I'm looking out at the bay or whatever, or wherever it was, and he said, there was this guy in a wheelchair. And he said, I had an LSU hat on, the guy, or a shirt or something like that. And he said, this guy said, did you go to LSU? He's in a wheelchair. And it was Y.A. Tittle. He took a picture of the guy. He started talking to him. He says, wow, what a blessing that was. Can you imagine you're walking out out of nowhere? Here's one of the most famous players at LSU and also there. So anyway, it was pretty cool.
I have chills. I would have cried in that moment.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because you just, that it's almost like karma. You just end up doing the same things that other people do, if you're attached in some way. So anyway, I always thought that was kind of cool. I've got that picture. I need to get that blown up and put on the board. We've got a lot of history stuff that we haven't put everything on. We're gonna cover that place eventually, right, Stevie?
Yeah, man.
We back in the day, man, it's like we used to have banners coming down where it was a cave.
Well, there's already a lot in, and what they're talking about is Inside Shooter Sports Bar is all decorated with a bunch of LSU stuff because it's home of the LSU Panhandle Bayou Bengals. But do you remember the first day I walked in there with you, Steve? I was like, I love this place already. I just was so excited. But we could get some more additions to that. We could make that happen as a team effort.
And they do have Turbo Dog too, just to let everybody know. It's one of the. It's listed. It's listed on their thing, and we went to a restaurant the other night. I'm not going to name them. I'm not sure if they're sponsors or not, but they actually had a Beta Amber, so I got that with the food. We got like a bunch of samplers. It was Cajun food, and it was really good, Creole Cajun, New Orleans style. Anyway, I should have said I guess it, and I'll give them a prize. But we had a great experience there. And I asked it, I got the amber, and I said something to her. I said, you should get some darker beers here, because some people like myself, I like porters and stouts and things like that. And it's a sipping type beer. It's almost like a liqueur, in the beer thing. And I said, you have to get some Turbo Dog. And she goes, I think we have it. It wasn't on the menu, so. She went and got me one and brought it out and poured in a glass. I said, "Okay." I
don't know what a Turbo Dog is. What?
It's a dark lager, Abita beer.
Goodness, I should have known this. Been to Abita's brewery many a time. It's a great experience to go there for sure. I don't know. I'm trying to now think of what the Cajun restaurant might be. For me, it's really hard for me to eat at Cajun restaurants in any other place that's not Cajun. Like when I lived in California, Cajun Kitchen Cafe. It's just funny the way, because there's a few, but there's not many who can cook it quite like the people in, okay, I got it. He secretly showed me. There's nothing, I've just lost for words now. There's nothing quite like it when you get that true Louisiana cooking. And I think some of the best is down there in Thibodaux, Louisiana. That's where I've covered a few games for, Nichols State University, and for all the players, they have this area where they just sit there with big jumbo things, and they're cooking rice, and they're making pastelaia and jambalaya, and I mean, it was the best food I ever had. I even told them, I was like, I'm going to come back to Thibodaux just to eat you guys' food. But
that's a great school. They have a lot of football, the Peyton Manning football camp there every year, quarterback.
Right.
And it's referred to in people in Louisiana as Harvard on the Bayou.
Harvard on the Bayou.
That's what people always, when they say Nichols, oh, you mean Harvard on the Bayou? Yeah, so you're not mixing it up with any other Nichols state,
And it's a really beautiful campus, but you're right. The Manning Passing Academy is there, and it's something they do every single year. They're very passionate about it. It gives back so much to the community, and it's great because really, truly what the Manning Passing Academy is about is bringing back those fundamentals, and I think that's so important. Because we see teams all over the place, and we're like, if you just did just the fundamentals and got that right before you tried to get too fancy with it, maybe you wouldn't have fumbled the ball, or things like that. But we are on Tiger Talk, presented to you by Cordova Lanes. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. We've got John Spurney, Steve Reynolds, Greg Heck in the building. Cordova Lanes, it is the place of fun. Make sure you go over there. We will take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages.
To have a striking good time, there's nothing better than Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Now Shooter Sports Bar is open after a total remodel, plus Mama Oni's Grill serving up great food like house-made pizza and so much more. Cordova Lanes selling fun for the entire family for over 44 years. They're open 7 days a week with the only automatic bumpers in town, helping keep your mind out of the gutter. From 3 to 93 years old, Cordova Lanes is the place for birthday parties, group activities, and more. Cordova Lanes Bowling Center.
This is Jim Grimes from Southern Media, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
May your Christmas be filled with joy, love, and laughter. This is Jessica with Pensacola's Kia Autosport, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
From all of us at Duncan McCall Advertising, we want to wish you a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
May your Christmas be filled with joy, love, and laughter. This is Sheila Nichols from Pensacola State College, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
During these tough economic times, it's easy to lose sight of the importance of saving for the future. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling wants you to know there are simple steps to set aside dollars each month. The most important is reviewing all your monthly expenses and establishing a household budget. Need help getting started? Speak with a certified credit counselor who can help map out a plan for you. Call the NFCC at 800-388-2227. This has been a public service message from the NFCC.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much.
from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Want to win a signed Chris Wenke jersey? Download the ESPN Pensacola app, register, and then enter to win. From ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back into Tiger Talk. Tiger Talk is presented to you by Cordova Lanes. It's home of the LSU Panhandle Bayou Bengals, the local alumni chapter here. We've got Greg Heck, Steve Reynolds, John Spurney in the building, as well as a caller. Good morning. How are you? And who do we have this morning?
Hey, Kate Thomas. I'm pretty good. You got Ronald.
All right.
Hey, Ronald. Well, what do you have for us today?
Okay, I got a couple of things. First of all, guys, congratulations. How about that kid, Jaden?
Yeah, how about that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, just first an observation. You guys could very well have the University of the Year. You got the Heisman Trophy and the Women's National Title. Very well done. Good job.
Baseball.
Oh,
baseball national
wow,
champions.
Man. School of the Year, dude.
School of the Year.
Okay, this is what I have, and this is what I have, and I'll hang up to listen to your response. First of all, is Jaden Daniels not the number one quarterback on the board? And secondly, I heard he said he couldn't, he was sorry for not being able to bring them a championship, but what do you guys think about the Saints? Maybe he can bring them another championship.
Well, that was a loaded question. What was the first one? Was we think Jaden Daniels where he will go in the NFL draft? Is that what he was referring to?
As far as quarterbacks.
As far as quarterbacks,
I think he's got two in front of him right now. As far as what the experts are saying, Caleb Williams and Drake May, because Drake May declared yesterday, I think, for the draft. They've got both of them ahead of him, I think, that I've seen.
Okay. I need to see
whether that's true or not.
Who has
So
the first?
three. I saw where somebody was picking 4, but that's been several days ago. But that's probably depends on who declares.
Yeah.
So he's number 3 now. They're predicting.
That's the last report that I've seen. Yes.
Well, reports can say everything. They don't mean anything. I think it's going to go to, I don't know, whoever really needs him the most. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that actually currently need a quarterback, or at least a good backup or something.
I think he'll definitely be a first-round pick no matter what. Where he goes is yet to be seen, but I definitely think he's going in the first round.
Definitely first round. I think top 3 for
Good.
sure. The Saints. That was his other question. The Saints have to win, to me. This is a game. You're playing at home. You have to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no excuses.
The Saints need to win to keep Dennis Allen's job.
I don't even care if Dennis Allen keeps his job.
Yeah.
I kind of want him gone, to be honest.
Yeah.
We've got another caller. Good morning. How are you, and who do we have?
It's Eric. Good morning.
Hey, Eric. How are you doing?
Good. I came on last Friday and said that Jaden Daniels was going to win it. I was so sure, being an Alabama fan. When it comes to awards like that, I am completely non-biased, and I wanted to congratulate you guys, on I know that you didn't win it, but I mean, you guys are huge supporters, and of course, this is Tiger Talk, so I wanted to say congratulations, and he definitely should be a first-round draft choice. If they're putting people in front of him after he just got the best quarterback of the year award, to me, it doesn't make any sense to me how teams draft a lot of the time. There's been many times where the Lions, I'm a Lions fan. They needed a quarterback. I think they drafted 5 receivers in 5 years with their first pick. The farther he goes, was watching the Dan Marino story last night, and he had that letter from his dad, and his dad was reminding him that the farther down the list he goes, the better the team is.
Right.
So I'd really like to see him go to a team. I'd really like to see him go to a team that he can shine right away. I mean, look at Bryce Young. He's dodging bullets all day, every day with Carolina. I just don't want to see him get in that position. He's got great legs, and he can get out of a lot. So he's got that blessing. But I really would like to see him move down the list a little farther, so that he is not the savior. He is somebody that they can come in and shine right away.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys have a great day. And thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, thanks, Derek.
Thank you, Eric. I kind of agree, because right now I pulled up the 2024 NFL draft order as of now. Those things can change all the way up to during draft day.
Will, I'm sure.
And they will. But right now, it looks like Chicago now has the first pick. Then you've got New England, Arizona, Washington, LA Chargers, Chicago, the Jets, the Giants, the Titans, the Raiders, the Falcons, and then the Saints, which I think people are a little tired of Derek Carr, but the Jets, well, I guess they spent all their money on Aaron Rodgers. I'm trying to think, who really at this point needs a solid quarterback. I think New England could probably use, a better, I don't know. Who knows where he'll get placed. I do know that this is the end for Bill Belichick, at least as far as talking about the Patriots. It's not officially, I don't think, confirmed, but it's pretty much confirmed,
deal.
if that makes sense. I can't wait to watch the draft, because it's always interesting, because for me at least, I'm thinking this team is going to take this player, right? And then it changes. There's all these negotiations that go through the entire time.
Absolutely. But if Jaden were to fall to the Saints, I think that's a no-brainer. I think they automatically draft him.
Carr is out.
He's gone.
They're so tired of Carr. They're booing him. Literally.
Every game.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for the man, but then I don't. I don't know. Louisiana is a place, especially as an athlete, that if you accept Louisiana or New Orleans or Baton Rouge, wherever you may be, the whole state, that parish, wherever, they will take you in like you are their child, and they will love on you, and they will support you, and everything like that. And I think in the beginning for Derek Carr, it was sort of, they all welcomed him with open arms, but then he started not doing so well. They're like, all right, well, we're going to boo you off the field.
Well, I think Drew Brees came in. When he came in, he was accepted right away. And, I mean, they still have all the love in the world for him because he brought them their only Super Bowl, of course. So.
And there were so many missed opportunities for other Super Bowls during that time period due to a lot of different things that didn't quite go the Saints' way. But the Brees era is over. Would have loved. That man is just the nicest man and just as good at football and just a nice person. I was there for his NFL all-time passing record, which has now been beat. But I was there at the time, and they had the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I can't think of the guy's name right off the top of my head, but he's this real large man.
I know who you're talking about.
I think it's Dave Brown, I want to say, or something like that. But they wear a white glove. But the first things Drew Brees said to his kids is, you can do anything you want in life as long as you work hard and set your mind to it. And I and I don't think he planned to say that. I just think that's who he was naturally. It's Peyton and Brees. Those were the days. I think there needs to be a lot of changes on the Saints. We've got the talent. It's just I don't know why it's not being utilized. Hopefully we see some more with Robinson added to the mix. Right now you are listening to Tiger Talk, presented by Cordova Lanes. Any Christmas holiday things going on right now at Cordova?
We have a lot of parties booked throughout the city, and we're taking care of all of them. We can cater small groups to large groups. We had a group of 90 kids come in yesterday.
Wow.
And they bowled for a couple hours, and I'm sure Greg was around them when they were.
And the Blue Wahoos had their Christmas party with us on Wednesday.
The players and everyone.
Just the staff.
The staff.
That runs everything.
Yeah, great staff by them. I got a personal thank you card. I couldn't have been more honored. It's just a fun place to go. It's more than bowling. So really do check it out. 2111 Airport Boulevard. And it's kind of tuckered away a little bit, so just look out for the sign. They've got a big sign on the street that says Cordova Lanes and Shooter's Sports Bar, but truly a great place to go. Another piece of news for LSU, and this really hurts my soul to lose this one. Tommy Moffitt going to Texas A&M. And John, I'm looking at you because you've got to know how powerful Tommy Moffitt is. He's probably the best strength and conditioning coach out there right now. I mean, this man has produced so much talent that's currently in the NFL. Other teams reach out to him all the time. He is a really, really good strength and conditioning coach, and to lose him to Texas A&M.
Yeah, he was the last. Him and recruiting coordinator Gonzalez came to our last Tiger tour that we had. We did 5. Okay, we did 4. And actually, the mayor he was a Florida State alum, Wiggins.
Yes.
You were there.
Yeah.
Mike Wiggins was in the building earlier on News Radio.
We had a bowl, Florida State bowl with oranges in it that he came and gave it to Les Miles. What was funny was, anyway, because I told him, I said I asked him if he wanted to come, if he wanted to give Miles, because he's been here 4 years, so he deserves some kind of an AA or a degree, for 4 years of coming to Tiger Tour, because we were definitely the smallest venue that it was coming to. But it's an easy sell. Everybody knows where Destin and Pensacola Beach is, so we took advantage of that. In fact, we flew the LSU flag. They took down the. They didn't take down. They had 3 flags out front of the Hilton out the beach. And when Taft drove up, I was waiting for them. They drove up to unload all their stuff because they do all the bells and whistles. I get people in and out and eat. Okay, that was my job. And we had probably a couple hundred, 250 people there. And they pull up, and I before they got there, I said, "Can I put an LSU flag?" There's 3 flagpoles. There's an American flag. I don't think you'd take that one down. There's a Florida State flag. And then there's also the Hilton flag. He says, "Well, we can't take down the Hilton or the U.S. flag, but we'll take down the Florida State flag." Not Florida State University, but
like the state of Florida.
State of Florida. Yeah, and we put up the LSU flag, and it was a 3x5. And I was waiting for them, and they drove up, and I said, "Hey, look, check out the flagpole." And they went, "Holy crap!" They all got their camera. They're taking pictures out there and stuff like.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to get one for outside of my house right now. I need everybody in the neighborhood to know. LSU number 1. We have a neighbor with an Auburn flag, and I felt so bad for them this season. But
I've got the inflatable that I put up years ago. I put purple and gold lights for Christmas in our middle part of our house, the flower bed, and I put Mike the Tiger out there, the big inflatable. And I was a little paranoid because that was after I think it was after we beat Oklahoma or something way back. And we hadn't been living there a long time. Well, Peggy had been, but not me. And so we're like, I would go out every night and check around and go like, I hope somebody doesn't come by and shoot an arrow through it or something, because I don't know if you've seen the videos now. There are bears going through the neighborhood and attacking inflatables.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's pretty wild. So and people are crazy nowadays. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to put that out there. I go out and check it every now and then.
Well, we got an inflatable, speaking of inflatables, this year. And because we live close to the water, we got a Santa surfing a wave. So I don't want anyone to take that away from me. And then another little reindeer. But, the bears here in Florida, they're wild. just so much still to talk about. We're going to take a quick break because it's coming up on break time. So, again, Tiger Talk presented by Cordova Lanes. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. We've got Greg Heck, Steve Reynolds, John Spurney, a great group. You're welcome to call in, chime in with your thoughts, 850-623-1330. We'll be right back.
To have a striking good time, there's nothing better than Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Now Shooter Sports Bar is open after a total remodel, plus Mama Oni's Grill serving up great food like house-made pizza and so much more. Cordova Lanes selling fun for the entire family for over 44 years. They're open 7 days a week with the only automatic bumpers in town, helping keep your mind out of the gutter. From 3 to 93 years old, Cordova Lanes is the place for birthday parties, group activities, and more. Cordova Lanes Bowling Center.
Calling all FSU Seminole fans, Tomahawk Talk is here. Tune in Wednesday from 9 till 10 right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM to get the latest on Florida State football. Hear from the experts, the superfans, and even some former players about what's happening on the field, the sidelines, to the locker room. It's your chance to be a part of the conversation and let your war chant out. It's Tomahawk Talk, Wednesday from 9 till 10. Tomahawk Talk, brought to you by the law firm of Gross & Schuster.
Are you looking to hire someone with proven world-class job skills? Well, there are some very qualified candidates out there. America's Wounded Warriors. These men and women are eager to get back to life at home and a good job, which is why Wounded Warrior Project developed the Warriors to Work program. It helps wounded warriors translate their military job experience to the civilian workplace. To hire a proven professional, contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Get ready for the ultimate sports update. It's the Pensacola Sports Beat with Kate Thomas on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm Kate Thomas, your Pensacola sports expert. Join me for breaking news, interviews, and analysis. From courtside thrills to epic victories, I'll keep you in the heart of the action. Join me for the ultimate sports experience.
Tune into 99.1 FM and 1330 AM every weekday from 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. for the Kate Thomas Sports Update on ESPN Pensacola. ESPN Pensacola.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
Hey guys, it's Kate Thomas from ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, and I would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year from all of us right here at ESPN Pensacola.
I want an official Red Ryder Carbine Action 200 range ball air rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Ho, ho, ho.
The Rich Eisen Show, on weekdays before Paul Feinbaum, 11 to 2 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back into Tiger Talk. Tiger Talk is presented to you by Cordova Lanes. Cordova Lane's the place of fun and the home of the LSU Panhandle Bayou Bengals. Greg Hegg, Steve Reynolds, and John Spurney in the building. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Okay, I've got a trivia, and I'll go ahead and give it to you, but you got to be honest, and you have to call in with it. In 1985, LSU traveled to South Bend and beat Notre Dame 10-7. But what was unusual about the field goal that LSU made that day? So I'll give it to you one more time, and it's kind of tough. So you got to be a true diehard fan. In 1985, LSU traveled to South Bend and beat Notre Dame 10-7. What was unusual about the field goal LSU made that day? Go ahead, call in, see if you can win. You get a gift certificate to Cordova Lanes and maybe a few other freebies. 850-623-1330. Call in and just give it your best guess. Maybe we'll make it a little bit easier, but would love to hear from you. 850-623-1330. 850-623-1330. Again, in 1985, LSU went to South Bend. They beat Notre Dame 10-7, but there was something unusual about the field goal that LSU made that day. Call us and you can win, again, a gift certificate to Cordova Lanes, 850-623-1330. Waiting to see those phone lines light up. You can text in as well if you would like. Okay, so right now, LSU actually put out their 2024 schedule. It's interesting, and next year is different for the SEC because we've got Texas and Oklahoma joining. Texas, they played pretty decently this year, so look forward to, I guess, seeing them. And I just feel like the SEC is continuously expanding. I can't remember the last couple teams they put in right at the end a few years ago, but yeah, everybody wants to be in the SEC. I don't blame them. It's the best conference out there in the NCAA. But we'll go over their schedule right now. So they've got Southern Cal in Las Vegas to kick off the season. Nichols, we were just speaking of Nichols University, a game at South Carolina. UCLA is coming to Tiger Stadium. South Alabama, right out of Mobile, they're coming to Tiger Stadium. They've got one open date in October 5th. Then Ole Miss at home, thank goodness, because it was tough this year on the road. They play at Arkansas, at Texas A&M, have another open date, and then, of course, always the Alabama game is the same time every single year, so November 9th for Alabama, and November 16th in the Swamp. Then we've got Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. So that's a quick recap of this schedule. John's over here trying to read it. This is my official LSU Athletic Communication mail.
Well, I want to tell you something. There's a reason why that schedule is what it is, because I wondered, what are they doing? SC, UCLA, Oklahoma, Alabama. We're actually playing, and Peggy actually looked it up. Actually, I think there's only 4 away games in there, right?
Yes, because the first game is a neutral site.
3,
yes.
4.
Okay, there's only 4 away games.
Correct.
Never
and
been
then
done.
There's one at a neutral site.
Yeah, okay. And then there's the SEC schedule. And here's what's particular about it. This next year is the 100th year LSU campus has been. In 1923,
right.
They moved it from downtown Baton Rouge, where the Pentagons are, the old military thing. Because
right.
they moved it down from Pineville from there. And then they had this. It's an Italian Renaissance design, the campus.
It is.
And this guy did it, and it's 1923, so it's 100 years that campus has been on that plateau overlooking the Mississippi.
Right, absolutely, and it's great.
And that's what it's going to be a big to-do with that. That's why that schedule is that way. They've been planning this for years. So I thought I didn't know all the details of it, but it's pretty exciting. It's LSU was actually founded in 1853. And became, legitimate classes. It was established then, and classes started in 1860. And then the war broke out, and General Tecumseh Sherman went up north and came down, and Vernon Billy, they call him in Atlanta. He was split the South up in the Confederacy. But he also he also made all the mansions that he was friends with along the river survived.
Oh, yeah.
The other ones were burned. So anyway.
Well, it's nice they survived because they are so beautiful if you ever do go to Baton Rouge. We do have that trivia question that I gave you as well, but I want to get back to what John was telling you, let's see if I can find it. In 1985, LSU traveled to South Bend and beat Notre Dame 10-7. What was unusual about the field goal made by LSU that day? Call in. I can repeat the question, 850-623-1330. You win a gift certificate to Cordova Lanes, which you can use anywhere in Cordova Lanes, Shooter Sports Bar, Mama Ani's Grill. There might be a couple of other things thrown in. All you have to do is call for now and just try to give it your best shot, and we'll repeat the question for you. So, John, you're talking about, yes, it is the 100-year celebration of Tiger Stadium, and they talk about planning. They've had to be planning this. I don't even want to know how many years. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for Tiger Stadium. It's interesting because we have had some upgrades to Tiger Stadium over the years, but it's nothing like some of these other schools that I've been to who just have the lights flashing there and there. And, it's, I don't know, it should be a good one. Some other news as well for LSU. Daniels and Neighbors, they were named first team All-America by AFCA. So that's another huge accomplishment for LSU. I got to get some of you guys talking in here. I see some of you looking at your phones. I mean,
I like my phone.
I know y'all like your phone.
I was going to talk about the schedule, how I thought they were trying to make LSU and Texas A&M more of a rival, and they're letting Oklahoma have their first taste of Death Valley, the last game of the season. I found that to be very interesting.
That is interesting.
And also you notice that Arkansas is back to
yes.
Which I like better. We always that was usually Black Friday.
Yes.
And it allows us the morning to cook the pig. It's really hard to do it at night because there are things that start hanging around the bowling alley that are wild beasts and stuff that are looking for that pig. So
we've had raccoons births there and stray cats and all kinds of different things under our deck.
Oh my goodness.
I'm showing you a big game. This was 1979, and it's epic. I don't remember. I'm trying to think where I was in '79. I was in school in South Florida, but LSU played USC in Tiger Stadium. They were number 1 in the nation. That team that LSU had that year ended up being 7-4, a mediocre team. We didn't win anything, but we played USC. And the final score, I'm trying to see what it is here. Anyway, it's older people will argue with you who made the most noise. 102,000 in Tiger Stadium or that 70,000 people that never sat down the whole time. And USC walked into town, and I knew
we got
people.
About 20 seconds, John. Keep on going.
Okay, but anyway, USC came in. I believe it was like 15-12. They won at the last minute on a face mask penalty. And they had 16 first-round draft picks and 2 Heisman Trophy winners on the team, Charles White and Marcus Allen.
Wow.
And they walked out of there, and it's almost like a victory. It was a blue-collar team that year. So anyway, that's a really famous game, too.
Well, we'll have to look back into that game. For now, we could do really a 2-hour show on this. Thank you so much for joining Tiger Talk right here on ESPN Pensacola.